I'm a mentor and a teacher. I help people to build confidence. I've been doing that now for about 12 years. So if you want to build more confidence in your life, you want to live a positive life, or you want to make certain changes, you want to achieve goals, this is the right channel and community that can help you to do that. So you can start off by subscribing. You can watch other videos that I've done. I've done a lot of live streams on this channel. I've also got an Instagram page, which I think is the same name as my YouTube channel, Jonathan O'Halloran. I've got a lot of tips, advice on there on how to get fit, build confidence, achieve goals, overcome fears, anxieties, improve your career, etc. So you can find me on Instagram. So I wanted to start this live stream from a question that I got from one of you yesterday on yesterday's stream, which was about isolation, anxiety, and not being in a good place, and trying to navigate your way out of that place. And I said I promised I'd speak on it, which I will, because I've helped a lot of clients to get from a bad place into a good place. And what I mean by a bad place is, you're depressed, or you've got anxiety, things are not going well. Could be a number of things, and at some point we all go through this in life. So that's why I always say it's important to have the right means of support to give you the support, so you can get yourself back into a confident place again. Because the gentleman yesterday, and this is common with a lot of people, and I said yesterday, I've been through this twice and done it. He was in a good place in his life before. He was really confident. He had a sales job, he had friends, things were going well, and then obviously things happened. And it can happen to all of us, and he's now found himself struggling to trust people, to go out, to make friends, because he's going through isolation, anxiety, and that can happen. But the good news is, like I said in this title, if you're going through that right now, you can get back into a good place. It's not going to be easy, but hopefully you shouldn't feel upset about that. You'll appreciate it when you do, but there's things that you can do right now to find, to still enjoy each day. Because I know it can sound a bit contradictory, but a lot of people think and believe that if you're depressed, or if you're going through anxiety, or you're not in a good place, people assume that you can't be happy, or you can't find happiness. And in my experience, that's not true. There's 24 hours in a day, and you can still find ways, even if you have 2 hours a day of happiness, that's something to be grateful for. You can build on that, or an hour or more. So there are a lot of things you can do, and I talk about that on this channel. I teach those things, I practice them. One of the things that you can do is you can design a daily routine, which is so helpful, where you make a list every day. So I need some water. I just had a coffee this morning. I go to my local coffee shop. I go downstairs, and they're nice people there. But the coffee sometimes, I'm not complaining, it's great. It's so strong that I struggle to get my breath. Just got to calm down from the coffee high. It's brilliant for when I want to go to the gym and run, but sometimes when you want to speak, it's a bit challenging. Right, let's try again. I like the buzz, don't get me wrong, it's nice feeling the high of the coffee, but not when I want to speak, because it's hard to get my breath, so I'm going to have to breathe a little bit. It's my old age kicking in. How you doing? Right, okay, so being in a bad place and getting into a good place, how do you do it? I just want to say, when I share this information today, if you're new to the channel, this has worked for me, and this has worked for a lot of the clients that I've mentored over the years, right? So I can't guarantee 100% this is going to work for you, but I'm pretty certain that it will. So before you take the information that I'm giving you, I would like you to at least know that it might not work, but it should work. If it doesn't work, worst case scenario, you will find the right information that will work. Because sometimes people make the mistake, just because an expert says something, that means that it has to work for them. That's not always the case. It doesn't mean that someone has said something that isn't true. No, it is true, and it has worked for them and many people, but it may not work for you, because we're all individuals. Everyone's got different personalities, and different things can work for people at different times in their life. But you should give it a try if it feels right. I am really confident that this will work for you. Obviously, you've got to be patient. It's not going to be an instant quick fix. So the first thing I think anyone needs to get into a good place again and get your confidence back, you need to set a goal. And that goal, number one, could be to get back to feeling good again, to get your mental health positive, to feel social again, to want to be around people, your friends, your family. You know, I don't know the situation right now for all of you. If you've got a job at the moment, you may be struggling obviously at work because you're not going for a good time. So maybe it's to get you, you know, feeling good again in all areas of life. But it doesn't really matter. Whether you've got a job at the moment, whether you're unemployed, you know, you're in a bad place and you want to get into a good place. So you need to set a goal. And goals are great because goals give you positive emotions and goals give you something to aim for. Now, you can set 2 goals or 3 goals or however goals you need. For me personally, when I was in a bad place, I set myself several goals. The first goal I set was I wanted to get myself confident again, because I'd been confident before, like this gentleman who said yesterday on the stream that used to be really confident. I'd been there, but I'd lost my confidence because I had a mental health breakdown. Lots of changes in my life happened, some things that were not in my control, and then I got into a bad place. So I set myself a goal that I really wanted to get back to being happy again and all those things. But I also set other goals. I set myself a goal that I wanted to lose weight, and I set myself a goal that I wanted to change my career. And then I set myself a goal that I wanted to help more people when I got myself well again. So I had a lot of goals there within the main goal, which was to get myself well again and confident and happy. So again, that's really, really important. And I've seen that with clients, because I just want to make a point of saying, if you're in isolation at the moment, or you feel isolated and you're going through a bad time, whatever you've been through, whether it's a breakup in a relationship or you've lost your confidence or a number of things have happened to you, you know, you've lost a lot of money financially. These are the things that affect people. Or, you know, unfortunately, maybe it's hard. Someone you love has passed away. This is something that I went through as well. A lot of people go through. So many things have affected you, or, you know, you're battling with a negative addiction that can play a part for a lot of people as well. So if you don't have a goal, it's very difficult to motivate yourself to get out of isolation, because it's so strong. The negativity can be so overwhelming that it's kind of dominating your life at the moment. It's dominating your thinking with the self-doubt, the worrying, the overthinking, the anxiety. So if you don't have something to look forward to in the future, something to focus on today, we'll get to that in a second, it's a really difficult fight to win. It really is. So having a goal that's important to you, that you want to achieve, that gives you something to smile about whilst you're going through a difficult time. Another reason goal setting is good, because the very habit of setting goals and going towards those goals and achieving them, it makes you a better person. I really believe that. It makes you stronger, your character. It improves mental health. If you go on any website on Google online, you'll see so many sources from doctors, therapists, you know, confidence coaches like me, mentors like me, people's experiences. And one of the first things they'll say is to set goals if you're going through depression and anxiety, or if you're battling an addiction, or you've fallen into a bad place. They always talk about goal setting. Why? Because it works. It's been around for a long time. You know, being goal orientated automatically puts a person in a better headspace as opposed to someone who don't have goals. Quick story, when I was younger, we're not saying I'm old now, because I still think I'm 40 years young, right? Some of you might not agree. But when I was younger and I was looking for a job, the government used to do like a work placement scheme where they'd help you to get back to work. And I used to go to these careers advisors, and a lot of them were really good. I've got good memories. One of the first questions they'd always ask me is, Jonathan, you know, what's your goal within the next 5 years? Or, you know, in terms of career, what is it that you want to do? And the reason why they asked that question is because because they wouldn't be able to help me. They wouldn't know what are we working towards. So a goal gives you a direction. It gives you a map of where you want to go, where you want to work towards. Because without a goal, it's too vague. It's far too vague. You're just like you're lost. Little cheesy analogy. It's like being in the middle of no man's land in a jungle, and you don't have any map, and you're trying to figure out how we're going to get out of this place, how we're going to find our way back home. Without a map, it's going to be difficult. Nothing's impossible, but very difficult. So, with building confidence, with overcoming anxiety, with overcoming an addiction, with overcoming a breakup, a challenge, whatever the case may be, you need a goal. You need a goal to something to look forward to. And if you just look at all the successful people or people that you admire or someone, all of them have had goals. They've all set goals. So goals are important. Bruce Lee was a big advocate of goals. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, and he used that. So you need a goal. You need goals and a goal. The second one is you need support, really important. No one can do it all on their own. I couldn't do it all on my own, and anyone that you've looked up to at some point and I know this is not always easy, because some people might say, well, you know, my relationship with my family is broken down, so I can't get support from them, or I don't have many friends, and I get that. But there are people out there. You've got this channel, the support on these live streams. There's help out there. There's meetup groups. I know it's not easy, but you've got to try and persevere. But there is help out there. You can get the support, and that, for some of you, that might just be coming on my videos every day. If that's helping, that's great. Like I said, if it's working, stick with it. So you need support, especially when you're going through isolation. Secondly, you need to take some responsibility for yourself in a way that's kind, compassionate, not judgmental. You know, you're already going through a difficult time, so you've got to be patient. So you've got to support yourself, and these are all ways of supporting. You've got to set a long-term goal. You know, at the moment, you know what you don't want. What is it that you do want? So the things I've said today are already a lot of ways in which you can start to get back into a good place again. So that's important. Now, another important thing is, you know, finding something every day, even if it's for an hour or two, that you enjoy. Because just because you're in a bad place right now, it doesn't mean you've got to be there for 24 hours a day. You don't have to be there. I know there's some things that when we're in a bad place that we can't help. It's too strong. And sometimes other people can help us, but they can't take all of it away right now. It's going to take some time. Right? I understand that. I speak from experience, from someone in their life who's been in a bad place several times, but has gotten out and got into a good place and achieved their goals. So I don't speak as someone who hasn't experienced what all of you are going through right now, or anyone that's going to find my teachings, my work. So I know what it's like, but I know you can overcome it. So find something you enjoy. It could be anything. It could be your favorite movie. It could be your favorite music. It could be some good memories that you've got with your family, your friends, or times in your life. Go there. Visit a good place for an hour a day, because you're in a bad place at the moment, right? A negative place. You're there. It kind of feels permanent, and it feels like that, and it kind of is. You know, it's easy for people to say sometimes, just think positive. or, you know, it's all in your mind. Well, it's like, it's not that easy for people, because that is true. Yes, thinking positive is important, but that's not always possible for someone who's in a very bad place, and they've been there for quite a while, and they've gone through some things in their life that are traumatic. If it was as easy as that, then every single person on planet Earth would be in a good place, because all they'd do is just think positive. So that, although, like I said before, although that is not bad advice, but it's just that the advice is not always so easy to apply when someone's in a bad place. Now, if someone's not in a bad place, but they're having a bad day, then that can work easy, because they're already got an advantage. So like I said at the start of this stream, you've really got to try and take all the advice you get from people, including me, with a pinch of salt, knowing that I'll give it a try, but knowing that it may not work. If it doesn't work, don't beat yourself up, don't get down. Just say, look, the person's doing their best for me. They're trying to help you. You'll keep finding what does work. This is what I done throughout, you know, times when I was in a bad place and I got my confidence back. I took bits that worked. I always tried to appreciate everyone that helped me and not blame them. And of course, you're always going to get some stuff which you just know already. You're going to go, that's not going to work. I don't even need to try that. That my instincts tell me, and you go with that. So it is important that you do listen to yourself, especially when you've got strong instincts that tell you this is going to be right, this isn't going to work for me, right? I will say that. But don't disregard things and go, well, that means it's just a complete, it's fraudulent, it doesn't work, because it's worked for other people, but it may not work for you. So it doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it means it don't work for you, right? So that's important I feel that's important for people, because sometimes people come onto my channel, I'll have hundreds of people saying, thank you, you know, your information, your teaching changed my life. It worked, I'm changed now. But other people will say, it didn't work for me, you know, it's not working. And that's for the reason I said at the start, is because it may not work for them, because everyone is a bit different. People have said before, oh, I tried this positive thing I read in a book and it worked for me. But I've said, well, it didn't work for me. It was a negative for me. But I found this that worked for me. So that's important. That's important to take into consideration. But there are general principles out there that work for everyone, if you've got the patience to apply them. So that's important as well. Now, I know it's not easy, because people gave me this advice, because some people's situation is different. I don't know all of your situations, right? If you've got a lot of friends right now, you're lucky. Speak to your friends, you know, a good friend will help you and support you, do what they can. If you don't have many friends, then you can still work things out. You can make friends again. Nothing's indefinite, which is a good thing, and get the support you need. So even if you've got one friend, that's enough. One good friend, or, you know, like one of my clients at the moment is getting back in a good place. He's got a good relationship with his mum. So your family member, it doesn't have to be inflexible, you know, in terms of how you've got to go about getting yourself back to being in a good place again. You know, use the resources that are available to help you. And of course, if you need professional help, then you've got to go seek a doctor or a therapist, and then they can help you. Or if it's a case where I can help you, then I will. So seek the support that's around you. It's so important to have that help and support, because it's close to impossible. I'm not going to say it's entirely, but it's close to impossible trying to do everything on your own. And getting support is actually a real strength. A lot of people, you know, they feel embarrassed about getting help. They feel like it's shameful, or it's bothering people, or they shouldn't need to ask. But that's not true. You know, when I got help, it took me a lot of courage and strength. And like I said, as someone who coaches people, mentors people, I always really respect how much courage it takes for them to book a session with me, to do a program and start changing their life. So getting help is a real strength, and you're going to appreciate it later on when you get the benefits from it. So that's important as well, to get help and support from yourself, your community, your friends, your family, whoever. Some people might just say, no, I've got my mum supporting me, that's all I need. Fantastic, stick with that. Some might say, oh, I've got a therapist I'm working with, it's really helping me. Fantastic. Like I said, make it simple. Make getting yourself back into a good place really simple, and do, one day at a time. Another important thing is, not putting too much pressure on you. So I'm trying to get this. Coffee's now kind of calming down. That was a really, really strong kick in that coffee. I swear they put more than 2 shots in. So, you really want to move forward each day towards your goals, and, getting your life back on track, getting that confidence back, getting around people again. You want to do it without putting too much pressure, because if you put too much pressure, what happens with everyone, you just get too stressed, and then you end up procrastinating. You just stay in isolation. So you got to kind of be intelligent. You got to be quite strategic about the way that you go about, getting yourself back to being confident again. Because if you try and push yourself too much, that can tend to not work for people. But if you do it just gradually, then you get there. And the way I can describe this is running a marathon or going for a long run, especially you don't run it in one go. It's something that you build up over time, and you do it gradually. It takes time, but it's something that you build over time. So it's the same with building your confidence and getting back into a good place. You're not going to do it in one day. It's unlikely. You're not going to do it in a weekend, especially if you've been in a bad place for a year, 2 years, 5 years, or it's been many months. That's built up. So to undo that is going to take some time and effort. So I'm trying to give you the wisdom, give you the understanding, so you understand the process. And the more you understand, the more empowered you are, and the more hope that you have, the better you're going to feel. And when you understand something, you can achieve the goal. I guess it's like playing a video game. If you understand the method, then you can clock the video game or defeat the bad guy. But if you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to play the game, you haven't got the instructions, you're going to really struggle. So I like to explain the process, the general principle process in getting out of isolation, getting yourself social, getting your confidence back. For some people, that can mean getting employed again. That can mean making friends again. For some people, that can mean earning money again. Or for some of you, it can be a combination of all those things. Or for some people, it can be getting they're kind of feeling like they're getting their personality again. Often people will say, I used to be in a good place. I used to be funny. I used to be the center of kind of like all my friends, and people loved me, and I didn't have any fear. I wasn't awkward around people. I was good at my job. I could travel. I was enjoying my life. I could do all these things, but now all of a sudden, I'm kind of a shell of myself. I don't recognize myself. I'm not social. I'm down. I'm depressed. I'm not making jokes. I'm kind of avoiding people. I'm isolating myself away from family, friends, from the community. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not doing all the hobbies that I used to do. So that's kind of how it looks for a lot of people. But moving on to a positive note, when you hear a story of someone who has been in a good place, has fallen into a bad place, but has overcome an addiction, an anxiety, a breakup, a financial loss, or all these things all one, the story is now beautiful. I'm so grateful for where I am. If I hadn't have gone through a bad time, I wouldn't be where I am now. I've got the person might have the love of their life, or they might say that they had no money and now they become financially free because of the lessons they learned when they were in a very dark place. Some people are in a suicidal place. You know, I've experienced that myself. I've also lost a close friend to suicide. You hear great inspiring stories from someone like Tyson Fury, who had everything in life but was suicidal, was going to take his own life, and overcame that, got into a good place. So it's important that we listen to stories of people that have been through what you've been through and they've overcome it. So you've got real hope. Stories are very, very important. You know, I'm going to get a little bit cheesy here, but it's good to have fun. When you're in a negative place, you're in a negative story. When I was in a bad place, and I've helped a lot of clients, so I know from experience from both sides of the story, people are listening to negative stories every day. Their own mind is telling them, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, things are never going to get better for me again, I've lost my confidence and I can't build trust again, and there's not enough positive people out there, or people have let me down. That's the general story people are going through, and I know that because you guys and girls tell me. You tell me what you're going through. I've been through it, and I've listened to the stories of hundreds of clients over the years that I've been blessed to have worked with and helped them. It's been amazing. So if you don't want to be in that story every day, because when I was going through my difficult time, I started to listen to good stories, the Rocky movies, listening to Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder also inspired me as well, when he shared his story with his daughter was born with a disability and he didn't have any money and he wanted to help his daughter. He wanted to get the money together to get her the healthcare, and he went into boxing. It was a beautiful story that really inspired me. It motivated me. I listened to Les Brown. So it's really, really important that every single day, I'm not saying you got to do it for 10 hours a day. That's probably too much. That's, too much. But maybe an hour a day, listen to a positive story. Again, everyone is going to do it in their own way. People ask me what helped me. My faith helped me as well. So if your personal faith helps you, that's great. You should definitely lean on that. Again, it's about finding what works for you. And the more you start to focus on where you want to get to, how you're going to get there, start to feel better. So focus is really important in life in general, but especially for people that are going through isolation right now, isolation anxiety, and they're struggling to make friends or to be around people that they love. That's important. If you've got any questions, all of you, you can ask me. I enjoy answering the questions, and I'm just thinking right now, as I'm doing this live stream, that I need to, I want to as well. I want to do more videos on this, because this is something that, millions of people are going through, and a lot of people need more help. And it's a pleasure for me. I'm excited and happy that I can potentially help more people by sharing my story, how I got from a bad place to a good place several times in my life. I've helped clients to do it. They've been amazing. They've helped themselves as well. I've got friends that have done that. They're very brave. They were in a bad place. They overcame it. They turned their life around. So that's also important. It's important to know that you can do it, you will do it, as long as you're committed and you get the right means of support and help. Now, moving on to the next one, I really just want to talk about, allowing yourself to be human and vulnerable, and, still enjoy your life if you can. So, when you set your goals to get your confidence back, get your life on track, whatever those goals are, I've already gone over them, you can still have a life outside of that. So remember, there's 24 hours in a day, last time I checked, unless they've changed it. I think it's changing today. You guys can let me know. So there's 24 hours in a day. You don't have to spend your entire day obsessing and stressing yourself out about achieving your goals, getting your confidence back. You can, watch movies, listen to music, sleep. Obviously, there's time to sleep and rest, make some food. You can just do the normal things that all of us do, because that's important as well to get the rest and recovery. So, I spoke to my client James about this, and this has worked really well in our sessions. A certain amount of time of working on your goals and your confidence, but also having some time to rest and switch off and come away from, changing your life and positivity, because too much of anything is overdrive. And when you're in isolation, I know when I was, it's quite an exhausting place. Although you might not be doing as much as you've done before, that can be more tiring, because you're kind of going through a lot of stress and anxiety. You're on your own a lot, you're thinking a lot, there's a lot of negative thoughts, and that really can wear you out. So you want to get the balance, and again, you've got to find that for yourself. I wish I could, but I can't tell you exactly what that balance is, because you're in your own body with yourself. So you need a balance of putting some effort in, getting some help, but also having a rest, switching off. Moving on to some therapies that I like that work. Again, choose the one that worked for you. When I was in isolation, literally, I would always make a point, at least every day, of going out for a walk, just to clear my head, just to go and get some groceries, and just to kind of come out of being at home all day, because that would it would be really boring and depressing and very lonely. So going out for an hour or half an hour or 2 hours makes you feel better, makes you feel like you've lived, you've accomplished something, and then you look forward to getting back home again, and it gives you strength. So I'd recommend that to anyone. I think that probably one of the best kind of practical advice I could give today. If someone's in isolation literally, and they're going through depression, and they're at home a lot, and they're struggling to be around people, or to go to the gym, or to go to work, or to socialize at work, when you have got a chance, go out and go for a walk where you feel comfortable. It's about you at the end of the day. Parks, I think, are one of the best in nature, somewhere calm. I know most people generally don't like being around large groups of people, which can be difficult if you're living in a big city, but you can find quieter places like parks where it's more relaxing, it's a bit more tranquil, if that's the right word, tranquil. I can't pronounce that word right. You're going to make fun of me. So that's important. Go for a walk in the park, keep it simple, you'll feel better. Every time you do something that makes you feel better, you get a bit stronger. Hold on a second. So that's important. Going for walks is really, going for walks is good anyway, but especially for people that are going through isolation, anxiety, and are not in a good place. So go for a walk, come home, and then, watch a movie, make some food, relax, and try and get a good sleep. That's actually really important to touch on that. Not easy, again, but something you work at. Having a good sleep really helps, makes you feel better if you're going through depression. Getting a good sleeping routine and going for walks can be helpful. When you feel ready, actually going to the gym is just brilliant, or going for a run outside in the park. Exercising is one of the best recommendations for building confidence, reducing anxiety, especially with breaking out of isolation and rebuilding your relationships with your friends and your family, yourself, or especially with making new friends. So that's really important as well with the exercising. Again, just try and take things one step at a time. If you feel that it's too stressful at the moment, then don't do that. Do something a bit easier. If you can't go to the gym right now, go for a walk. If you can't gather the strength to be around lots of people, then maybe Find one person that you feel comfortable with, a friend, or have a phone call. Do what you can right now. Just take small steps in each and every day. And every little step that you take will give you the confidence and the strength to take the next step. And eventually you will be able to do the things that you can't do. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I think we covered enough. I don't want to overwhelm people. That's already a lot within the last half an hour or so. So work at those things, watch the channel. I'll do more videos and continue to get the other help and advice that you need. So yeah, set goals, have a daily routine, try and get your sleeping routine well, ask for the help that you need, go for a walk, go to the gym if you can, and just take one day at a time. And eventually you will get back into a good place. And listen to other people, listen to their stories of how they, got back into a good place again, and you'll do the same. Right, I've got a long day ahead of me today. I've got to go to the gym myself, work on other stuff on the business, but I hope all of you enjoyed this and you get a lot from it, and I will make more videos. All right, have a good day, good luck. Thank you for coming on the stream.